Welcome, Cobra Sports fans. We're here with Coach Fellers for this week's edition of X's and O's, your weekly sports show where we get to take a look at what went right last Friday and what to expect for this next opponent coming up on Friday. One of the best segments of the week, Coach, because we get to find out exactly what the film looked like and what we can expect to watch from the stands come Friday night.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, congratulations. Great game against Shiner, and your defense did really well.
Yeah, we've been to the old adage of bend don't break for sure, and when you looked on film, we had a lot of opportunities to make that a lot less of a scoring match than it was. Shiner, they did a great job of executing on plays that were very assignment based, and you missed the assignment plays and they're big scores. So.
Well, we've got a few plays queued up. I guess talk through. Tell us what went right there.
Yeah. So earlier in the segment, y'all talked about Dylan Rearick being the player of the game, and he certainly was. And you see on screen right here with a big tackle for a loss down on the goal line, and he just had a day, using his speed to get around the bigger linemen and just blowing up plays in the backfield. I think he finished with 3 tackles for loss in the game. So that's just a shout out to him down there in the red zone, making a big. I think that was second down stop right there. So.
Well, I know Shiner was pretty much a single formation type team. They came double tight almost all night. They were heavy on the option. One time y'all did great at defending it. We've got queued up. I guess walk us through this.
So they've been hitting us with inside veer pretty much all through the beginning part of that game, and that's really where they had tried to do that a lot in the Hallettsville game, but with not as much success. So, we had practiced against the veer because it's Shiner. They've been running that since 1973, but. We'd had a little bit of trouble against loaded option. And so this is the first time we were able to play it right. We rallied to the right spot. And, when a team makes it assignment-based football, it doesn't matter how well the, other 9 guys on the field play. If one guy misses assignment, it's the house. And so.
Well, let's see it again. Talk us through on the assignments on the outside.
Yeah, so on this play, you've got the edge player in Sam Kurtz, who's a quarterback player. But, typically, depending on how they're running it, they're either going to let him be the read, or they're going to cave down on the 5 tech. But in this play, they let the 5 tech go, so Dylan Rearick is taking the dive player like he's supposed to, and now Sam can rally from quarterback to pitch. The high top safety can rally to the outside pitch, and really we want to make that quarterback pitch as soon as possible and turn it into a sweep. That's exactly how we played it.
Yeah, well, it worked perfection right there. Defended well, tackle for a loss, and like you said, played perfection. Will we see this same type of thing out of Boling?
No, Boling is not. They're not a veer-based team. They're an option-based team. Now, there are a lot of similarities between Boling and Shiner in that they work out of a 2-back, under-center pro kind of look. Where you're going to see a lot of variability with Boling, though, is that they are formation-heavy. They're going to formation you to death. They're going to motion you out of those formations heavily. So it's been a lot of practice this week of getting our back end to move with their formation shifts. And it's a mental task for sure to make sure that we get people exactly where we need them depending on the set. And then you can expect the things that you expect out of a 2-back pro team. Your leads, your tosses, your counters, things like that. So I mean, the playbook isn't anything outlandish, but it is downhill football, and that Boling and Shiner both share.
Well, yeah, Shiner I think ran 45 plays. 45 of them were all out of the same formation. Yeah. How many formations can we expect to see from Boling? 2, 3?
I've charted somewhere in the ballpark from 15 to 18, depending on what they do in the backfield. And that's just between the first 2 games. In high school football, offenses, typically speaking, aren't unloading the playbook in week 1 and 2. So every week that you play, you got to be on your toes for something that's that you haven't seen yet. That's out of left field. So. We hope we got them all covered, but I'm not going to make any promises. As far
15 to 18 different formations is a lot to cover. We're not going to go through that, folks, tonight. This is a short show, but we will show a couple here. And I guess tell us what we're looking at and what this is typical of the Boling offense.
Here you got this is a play against Hempstead here, and they're running their what I call their super counter, but really it's just counter G2 with an escort. So they got a third blocker that's wrapping up inside of there. And so it turns into a heavy pull and lead, and got an extra guy in there, and they really take advantage of being winged to the backside and having a roll 3 over 2 and attacking the weak side. So, we'll have our game plans and have our alignments to try to negate that, but that's a good play for them. So I imagine you'll see that at least once or twice on Friday night. So here's your next play. Here's just an old school trap. Okay, keep you honest. And you know, I think this is against Hempstead here. They're trapping a 3 and a 2 tech. So like I said, it's old school football. It's downhill. It's quick foot-to-foot splits, but quick pulls and traps and kicks. And you know, they play with great pad level, a lot like Shiner. These guys are well coached. They are football players in that they're coming downhill and they're going to lean forward.
We'll take one look at a final third play here out of Boling.
And here's a good example of that of the backfield. You know, that they don't. I wouldn't say that they have one stud running back, but they do have a committee of running backs that are all very talented. They had a big loss over in the offseason with number 22 O'Neal, who's out for the season, but still they are very talented in the back end. And you have hard runners like as shown on this clip here, but you've got guys that can dance and guys that can make you miss in the open field as well. So it's a big discipline night as far as keeping our hats up and keeping our eyes up and fitting correctly to the play and driving through shoulder with a clean strike. So
based on these three, I got to think they're more run heavy. And
yeah.
Do they stay balanced, or are they?
I'd like to tell you that they're run heavy, but I would have told you the same thing about Shiner last week, and then they come out and they balance it out quite a bit. So you know, to the Tennessees right now, they're run heavy, but we're prepared for them to break Tennessee as well. But yeah, believe it or not, according to Tennessee, they were more run heavy than Shiner was.
Really?
So.
I didn't know that was even possible.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that a 90-something split would be able to get beat, but it was.
Well, I know they're in a very good district. They've played some good opponents already. They seem to be a fairly solid team, but somebody that y'all are capable of handling them.
Yep, they do have tough. They play our next opponent in Tidehaven too. They're in their district, so yeah, we're familiar with these guys. We had them last year, a big barn burner last year. The offense bailed us out of a bad play there at the end. On defense with a big buzzer beater win, but we're looking forward to a rematch, so to speak, on the defensive side, and not letting that kind of performance on our end happen again.
Well, folks, there you have it. That's what you can expect this week for the Boling Bulldogs. Come out, go make the trip over to Boling, watch it, or if not, watch it here live. We'll have it, but now as you tune in, you'll have a little more knowledge of the X's and O's. Thank you, Coach. We will be back next week for more X's and O's as we get ready for a homecoming edition as we look into the Tidehaven Tigers next week. Until then, we'll see you.